Welcome back to another episode of That Backyard Property Pod. We are here today for another mini episode. Today we are tackling all things Perth property market. It is a furnace at the moment. It's hot. The first home guarantee scheme has changed as of the 1st of October. Median house price has now hit 810K. Days on market is averaging 8 days on market. And the listings, so properties across Perth in the whole of the region, is now under 3,000, which it has been for the last couple of months. This is an all-time low, and I am certainly feeling the heat from buyers, from agents, from buyers' agents. Everyone in the market is firstly stressed. They're worried that they're going to miss out on properties. They don't know what they can do. And there's absolutely a feeling amongst social groups that friends are missing out and no one's ever going to buy a home. So that fear of missing out is really taking control. Please bear with me for this one because we're going to go into the numbers of what it looks like to buy a home. You're probably and most likely in a position to be able to do it. So if you're listening to this as a first home buyer, you're closer to buying than you realize. If you're listening to this as an investor, then you're definitely closer to being able to do this than you realize as well. I really want to debunk some myths. Every first home buyer I'm talking with at the moment is scared that they cannot buy a home. You will be able to buy a home. You just need to have the right advice. The right advice comes down to the numbers, and it comes down to how you interact with agents and how you present an offer to those agents. In most cases, especially in Perth at the moment, the ability to get your offer accepted has become increasingly difficult. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Supply is an all-time low. Demand is at an all-time high. Simple economics. Supply is short, demand is high, prices will rise. That median house price of 810K will hit 850 within the next 6 to 12 months without a shadow of a doubt, because the price cap for the guarantee scheme, which is the 5% deposit scheme, has increased from 600K to 850. The market is cooked. Even Albanese has come out and said that the scheme will increase demand and increase property prices. It is certainly doing that. And if you are trying to buy a home, you can still do it. Just need to have the right advice. So today I'm going to go through some numbers, some really clear numbers around borrowing capacity, because when we're looking at buying a property, banks want to know two things. Do you have enough income to service the loan that you are trying to get? And do you have enough deposit or help from family or a guarantor to be able to borrow 95% of the value of the property or less? This guarantee scheme, which is the 5% scheme, you need 5% of savings of the purchase price. So if you're buying for 800K, you need 40,000 plus stamp duty and other costs. If we're looking directly at an 850K purchase, you're going to need 5% plus costs. So you're going to need around $75,000 to $80,000 in savings. So if we cover off that aspect of the bank's requirements, the next aspect is your income. Let's dive deeper into your borrowing capacity based on a couple with no kids. So if you look through here, we have Joe and Chris earning 85,000 combined. So 85,000 for one, 85,000 for Chris. 85 for Joe, 85 for Chris. If we're looking at the borrowing capacity, you can generally borrow 5 times your annual income. Now, what we have here is a really simple equation. They're trying to buy a property for 850K, and in this instance, the 95% loan amount that they need for this guarantee scheme is $807,500. So if you have that $75,000 in savings and you earn a combined income of $170,000, then you can absolutely do this. If we dive that little bit deeper into the numbers, I've also got credit cards in here. So I've got a $10,000 credit card for Joe and a $6,000 credit card for Chris. I've covered this off before. Your borrowing capacity is reduced by 5 times the limit of your credit card. So if you reduce a credit card of $10,000, your borrowing capacity increases by $50,000. This is so crucial in this aspect because you can clearly do this if your borrowing capacity allows it based on simple equation of $85,000 a year for one and $85,000 a year for another. This is gross income we're working off. The average income within Perth is around that $80,000 figure. So if you have a couple, you should be able to do this. It then just comes down to the savings. Perth market is hot. There are people trying to buy properties in that 850K bracket or below. If you are in that market and you are trying to make an offer, you will most likely have other buyers trying to make an offer on the same property. So if we delve deeper into that, we've already covered off the numbers, your borrowing capacity, the savings needed. Now, how do you buy the property? How do you make your offer so enticing that the agent and the seller cannot refuse it? There's 4 key aspects of making an offer. Purchase price, and that's obviously going to be competitive across the board. The deposit, and that's the amount that you need to put towards the property to secure it. Not your 5% or 10% or wherever it might be, just to secure it. So if you buy a property for $850K, a deposit of $20,000 to $30,000 should be sufficient. So they're the first 2 aspects. The next is finance. Please see a mortgage broker. Do not go direct to a bank. See a mortgage broker. Ask your friends and family who have bought recently who they recommend, or we can obviously help as well. The finance is crucial at the moment. How long do you need to get your finance approved? If you have a pre-approval, you should be able to get finance approved within a week. Within a week. In Perth, we traditionally have a 3-week finance clause. That is far too long. In Sydney, it's 5 days. In Perth, we can do it in that time period as well, as long as you've got a pre-approval. So when you're speaking with your agent to make an offer, list a 7 or 14-day maximum finance clause and talk to your broker and provide the agent your broker's details. The amount of agents I talk to on a daily basis that is trying to qualify their buyer's finance is amazing. The biggest reason a contract will fall over is because of finance. So if an agent is confident with your finance, they will most likely accept your offer over someone else's. The other part of this is a cash offer. Now, the biggest misconception of a cash offer is that you have $850,000 in cash. That is not the case. A cash offer is removing the finance clause from a contract. This needs to be taken very carefully, and you need to have a really experienced mortgage broker to help you through this. Removing a finance clause has implications, primarily losing your deposit as one and other contractual implications. So speak with a mortgage broker around this. If you make an offer and the same price is $850 for one and $850 for another, and you remove your finance clause and the other has a 3-week finance clause, the agent will put your offer forward over the other person's. Be very mindful. You need a pre-approval. Not all pre-approvals are the same. Most banks don't fully assess a pre-approval. A computer just spits out a pre-approval. So make sure you talk with your broker and get a fully assessed pre-approval. The last aspect of the offer is settlement. How quickly do you need the settlement to occur? Or how long can you wait for the settlement to occur? Remember, all sellers are buyers as well. They are in the position of either upgrading or downsizing. So bear in mind, they need to do something as well, and their time is crucial. Does the seller need to transact quickly because they've got another property? They may have gone and bought something and they have 2 loans and they need to clear this loan as quick as possible. Therefore, the quicker the settlement, the more appealing it is for them. On the flip side, they might not have found anything yet because upgrading or downsizing in this market is also tough. So maybe as part of the offer, you're giving them 3 or 4 months to find their next property. So settlement could occur 3 to 4 months later. Something else I've looked at doing with a few agents is a rent back. So the property settles and the sellers can stay in that property until they find their next property. This is really, really important, especially for families trying to upgrade, because the last thing they want is to move from their place and not have somewhere else to go. So when you're making your offer, bear in mind that the seller is also a buyer in this market. Talk to the agent, ask the agent whether the seller would prefer a quick settlement period or an extended settlement period. Because I guarantee you, if there are 5 offers on the table and your finance is strong and your settlement terms meet what the seller requires, you are going to be in the best position to have your offer accepted. So when there's 5 there, they will want to put yours forward. The purchase price is key, but if everyone is offering $850K because that's the cap for the guarantee scheme, then you have to think of creative ways of making this work. The mortgage broker is paramount in this. I've also seen a lot more people using a buyer's agent for their first home. There are some fantastic buyer's agents in the market. If you're buying in Perth, I would highly recommend a buyer's agent in Perth to help you buy your home, not an investment. Remember, get your numbers right, understand your borrowing capacity, understand the savings you need, and then get your broker to get a fully assessed pre-approval and guide you through how to present an offer to be as strong as possible, because the last thing I want is the buyers that I'm helping to be chasing the market. The cap has moved from 600 to 850. So any unit or townhouse that's in that 700 to 750 price point will go to 800K to 850 in the next 6 to 12 months. Do not be the buyer that chases that market up and in 6 to 12 months, you have been priced out of this market. If you have found a property and you are unaware of the price point, do your research, check comparable sales, understand what's sold in the area, because there are still sales happening. I think that's the biggest misconception for any first home buyer I'm talking to at the moment, is that they fear they will not find a home, but there's still transactions happening. They're just quick. So to be able to be quick, you need your information, you need your broker, you need the right advice. If that is you or you know someone in that position, please reach out to the right broker or reach out to us. At Tusk, we are happy to help. We love helping first home buyers. I love it. It gives me a kick. Getting someone in the market that doesn't think they can enter the market is amazing. Any first home buyer I have spoken to in the last 3 months is able to purchase a home they did not realize. So if you are listening or watching this, remember, you are probably in a position to buy your home and you don't even know it. Don't be afraid. Ask the question. We are here to help. That's everything today. The Perth market is hot. It's a furnace. It's intense, but you can still buy. You just need the right people around you. Take this note. If you are listening or watching, especially on YouTube, please subscribe. This channel doesn't just happen by chance. We've got an amazing studio that we work with. Takes a lot of effort. Subscribing is the least you could do. I would really, really appreciate it. If you're listening to this on Spotify or watching it on Spotify or Apple or whatever channel this is, like, follow, share this. The growth of this community is really important. And the more people we can get this right information to, the better. And if you have a friend that is telling you that it is too hard to buy at the moment, run your own race. Get the right advice, talk to the right people, because I guarantee you, you are closer to buying a home than you realize. So jump on, ask some questions. Let's do this. Can't wait to see you again next week on Tuesday. Until then, have an amazing weekend. Cheers.